In 3, 2, 1, welcome to Pop Sports.
All right, welcome to another episode of Pop Sports. Drew, Jerry, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
6 feet above instead of 6 feet under. And Alex, what are you doing back there as always?
Making the magic happen.
Hey, you got it right for a change. Bravo, thank you. That deserves an Owen Wilson. Wow. So, first, we got to keep the lights on, like we always say. So we're going to do our sponsors real quick because we have a special guest joining us, which, teaser, we'll get there in a second.
But don't know yet.
We're going to have to say our thank yous to Bellman Jewelers, located at 1650 Elm Street here in Manchester. At Bellman's, it's always a matter of trust, Jerry.
Always, just constantly a matter of trust.
You know what's also at 1650 Elm Street?
What is?
King's Barbershop. You heard of them?
Are they in the penthouse suite by chance?
They are in the penthouse suite. Nice.
Damn.
Do a damn good haircut. Check out Matt. Loves talking sports. Check it out. Awesome. Because at King's, it's a cut above. You're going to love it. It's fantastic. And finally, we have Blake's Restaurant and Creameries. 2 locations. Those locations in Manchester, home of the Dirty Water, the Boston Blackout, and my favorite, the Grand Central Station. But today we have a special guest joining us. So the owner of Granite State, I knew I was going to do that. Granite Sports.
So
I don't
close.
know always say Granite
So
State.
close.
Of Granite Sports. Andrew Scalingi, who has negotiated on behalf of multiple clients in the NFL. So thank you very much for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
So it's going to be interesting to kind of hear things from a side that I don't think a lot of people think about. They just see everything on TV. They love the sport, but it's be kind of interesting to hear perspectives about what kind of goes on behind closed doors. You know,
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
The behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah,
I'll give a quick plug. I got my haircut at King's today.
Oh, there you
Fantastic
go.
haircut.
Well, yeah, I mean, hey, that's a nice cut right there.
Yep.
Kudos to Matt. And also check him out on Instagram at AJ Scalingi at Granite Sports. So nice little plug there.
Yep.
So
I think it's at the Granite Sports.
See, look at this. I can't do anything right. Alex,
Yes,
I know
sir.
I'm a pretty face, but jeez, you know,
Can you save him?
Come
Can
on,
you
man.
save him?
I don't know.
I can't help him today. I don't know.
Hey, you know, a lot of people have been trying, so don't waste your time. All right, so
Good to know.
let's get down to it. So, Andrew, how did you kind of get into this field? Because everybody loves the NFL, and anybody who says they don't, they're weird.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the NFL. Everybody dreams about somehow having a connection to the NFL, whether it's a player, agent, you know, whatever. How did you specifically kind of get interested in this, and how did you basically just get into creating your own kind of sports management?
Sure. I don't even know if I really know the answer to that question. I think I just kind of stumbled into it.
See, an honest man.
Yeah. No, I mean, it started with a passion for the NFL, just like everybody else who loves sports. What I was interested in growing up was the NFL draft as opposed to what was on the field. Obviously, I love the product on the field, but I loved the business side of things, the scouting, the recruiting of kind of what goes into the entire draft process. It started there. Grew up a Patriots fan. I have no allegiances anymore, obviously, but big Patriots fan, so I always followed the draft. Then I decided to go to law school, learn everything that I could about contracts law. I was never going to practice law. Would have made for a terrible attorney, but I went so I could learn everything I could.
I love this. A guy with a law degree that's honest. You don't find that too often.
I know, you don't. So learn everything I could about contracts law and then go start my own NFL agency. I just decided if I don't try this, I'm going to regret it later on in life, so let's do it. Worst thing that happens is I fall on my face and I move on. In the decision to do Granite Sports, obviously an homage to New Hampshire where I grew up, but I kind of had a vision for what I thought an NFL agency could look like in today's kind of where things stand with social media and everything. So rather than join another firm and join their branding and do whatever I needed to do to survive there, I went out, did it on my own. And I've been doing it since 2015. So I graduated from law school in 2015, went and took the NFLPA exam, which you have to do. So if you want to be an NFL agent, you either need to go to grad school or law school, or BJZ. It's ridiculous. You don't need to go to grad school or law school if you are someone who is an influencer.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. With more than 7 years of experience. So I
Wow.
guess Jay-Z had that.
All right. Jeez.
I mean,
I think Lil Wayne might be an agent now too.
for real?
I think so, yeah. Obviously,
You know,
Master
he
P
doesn't
was.
have a law degree, that's for sure.
No, he doesn't have a law degree.
Could have an honorary one at this point.
Oh,
That's about
jeez,
it.
yeah,
That's the best he could get.
I think Master P was the first.
Really?
Yeah, he was Ricky Williams' agent.
What a throwback.
That explains a
Master P.
lot about Ricky Williams.
One of
Yeah.
the worst contracts in NFL
Yep,
history.
that makes a lot of sense now. Now I can see that.
Yep.
At least Jay-Z like started a firm. Like he started Roc Nation and
Yeah.
like built like it wasn't him being like, I'm going to negotiate your contract.
Yeah.
No, he's got smart people doing that for him.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, he's pretty heady himself. He's
Right.
business-minded, but they got a pretty powerful team at Roc Nation.
Yeah.
I've had a few guys that had a little bit of interest in going with me, and then they get the call from Jay-Z.
Like how,
Sure.
I mean, how do you tell a 21-year-old kid not to go with Jay-Z?
Oh, I tell him every
Like,
time, go with Jay-Z.
I mean,
You'd be a fool to sign with me. Are you kidding me?
I mean,
I
just-
love the honesty.
just
This
being
is so
real.
refreshing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I actually met with, I don't know if you're familiar with Lucas Dennis. He's a safety from BC. He's probably projected to be one of the first 2 or 3 safeties off the board
yeah.
this draft. I got in the door with him before any of the other agencies did. I went and met with him at BC over the summer.
Mhm.
Really good kid. Everything went well. And then he started to have a good season, and Jay-Z called, and that was that.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's tough when you get those big markets and those big names that you're competing against in
For sure.
in that industry.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, I'm not going to compete with those guys at this
Yeah.
point. For me, what I need to do is, and like I said, I was obsessed with the draft. So it was finding guys from D2 schools, D3 schools, finding guys who were played on a bad team, but they were in a good conference.
Right.
Finding the guys that other people weren't going to chase. What you really need to do if you're going to make it for someone like me who's trying to do it on their own, has no cachet, you identify one skill set that always translates in the NFL. For me, the first guy I ever signed, it was a kid named Tyler Rutenbeck. He was a D3 wide receiver from Dubuque, Iowa. Obviously was off the radar of the NFL, but he was a 4.33 kind of guy.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Olympic track speed, that translates.
yep.
Signed him. He signed as a priority free agent with the Redskins back in 2016, I want to say, right after the draft. And I had to pinch myself. I couldn't believe that I'd actually identified a guy who no one else had really stumbled upon. So he was with the Redskins, and that really opened up doors. And I think I'm kind of leading us into the potential next question as how do you go about getting these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
definitely.
mean, you identify talent that no one else, the bigger agencies, I can't compete with them. So I go out and find these small school guys.
the big agencies. They're getting the Kyler Murrays, the Dwayne Haskins
Yeah.
of the draft.
Yeah, the Rosenhauses. of the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. Exactly.
We can't talk about Rosenhaus, but I've
Crossed
spoken
paths
with him
with
a few
him?
times. Yeah, he's what you would expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
That
makes
sense.
a lot of sense.
I don't know if you guys ever saw that 60 Minutes about him being a karate master, but that pretty much sums up what he's all about.
I don't think I need to. I think I have my information.
I think I have some paint that needs to be drying that I need to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was going to work with
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
but
we
I'm
gotta get
so
that
glad
up
I didn't. But those are the types of agencies that you're competing with for the big guys like Kyler Murray. I can't operate in that space. So what I needed to do was I needed to get one guy in the league. If I get one guy in the league, I can reach out to, I would say anyone, obviously not everyone, but I can reach out to guys and say, hey, listen, I've been doing this for a year or two.
You need to get some roots in there.
I've
Yeah.
gotten some guys in the league. I've shown a little bit of a track record of success. So once I got Tyler Rutenbeck in, that really opened things up. And then, I mean, having a foothold in Dubuque, Iowa, didn't really do me any favors. So
Right.
I had to find somewhere else to go with it.
Yeah.
And then I signed a kid named Eric Patterson, kind of under the radar, undersized but great tackling cornerback out of Ball State. He ended up signing with the Patriots, and that was cool. Obviously, I grew up such a big Patriots fan. But unfortunately, Eric Patterson got in a little bit of trouble right after he signed with the
Some
Pats.
circumstances
Yeah,
didn't allow for.
Yeah, you get that phone call from Foxborough Police at
Oh,
2 or 3 in the morning. You know it's
boy.
not good.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and when you're a fringe guy, when you're on the bubble trying to make the team, that's not going to work.
Trying to make it for Bill's team specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, he
absolutely.
traded Chandler Jones with that whole incident. So I mean, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yep. So
not gonna
needless to
make it.
say, he was done
Yeah.
the next day. But he stuck around. He signed with the Rams after that. I think it was their last year in St. Louis. Maybe it was their first year in LA. So he signed with them. He was on the Colts for a little while. He was actually on Monday Night Football. I remember it vividly. He couple injuries to a few of the Colts defenders. He runs out onto the field. First snap in an NFL game, he's lined up with Brandon Marshall, and he got eaten alive.
Oh, jeez.
Prime Brandon Marshall is
Yeah.
not someone you want to mess with as a young corner.
Yeah, and Gruden comes on and he says, he's Eric Patterson. I've never even heard of this guy. Where's he from? So I guess he was kind of reiterating what I said. You need to go find these guys that no one knows about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since then, it's kind of opened up some doors to go out and hunt after some guys in some big schools.
Yeah. Like, I know you have one client that's with the Seahawks right now, Emmanuel
Yeah.
Beal.
Yeah.
Like, how did you get in contact with him, and how did that kind of situation come about?
He's not exactly a small school fella.
He's not from Dubuque, Iowa.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He played at Oklahoma, as you guys know. Led the team in tackles, linebacker. Really solid college career, but he was undersized. So, I mean, fortunately in today's NFL, as you guys know, those safety linebacker combo guys, those hybrid guys who can run, he's got that. He's got the traits. So he's stuck with the Seahawks. But when he came out of Oklahoma, I actually had a good relationship with an agent, Alonzo Shavers. He was the guy who represented Asante Samuel when he signed that deal with the Eagles.
Oh,
I think that was the biggest deal for a defensive player in NFL history at the time.
If it wasn't,
Yeah,
it was
it-
for the biggest cornerback deal.
It's crazy, right?
I definitely remember hearing something that.
And was that right after he had the ball go through his hands in the Super Bowl?
Do we have to talk about that?
No,
you
we
want to go
don't.
through that?
No, we
Actually,
don't. We don't.
I think it was franchised for 1 year after that. And
What?
then
Yeah, he could have been.
I think it was franchised the next year, and then Bill let him walk after.
That actually makes some sense too.
That'd be pretty wild if he parlayed that blunder into all that money the next year with Philly.
Yeah, right. Jeez.
But he was a good player.
Oh, yeah.
Asante
Nasty.
Samuel was a stud in
He was
his
a stud.
day, man.
He was a stud. His son's a stud, too. He plays at Florida State, I think.
Really?
Yep. Five-star
That's his
guy.
son?
Yeah.
Oh, I never put that together, actually.
Yep. Yep. So, man, we're getting old. I remember when they drafted Asante, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I like this kid. So I
my
linked
God.
up with Alonzo Shavers. How I got to know Alonzo, I have no idea. It's just like everything else. I don't know how any of this is unfolding, but it's fun. So
Well, that's part of the fun is just not knowing what's going to come about, you know?
I have no idea what's going to happen
Yeah.
next. But I linked up with Alonzo. We signed Emmanuel. We got him to sign as a priority free agent with the Seahawks right after the draft last year. He was put on IR before the season, but he's still on the roster. He'll compete. I know Seattle's defense is getting better, but
Yeah.
they're young.
Well, he definitely
Seattle's-
fits their system with the smaller, really fast linebackers, good for coverage.
Exactly.
You know, run the gaps and on blitz if you need them to.
Exactly.
Bit of an overhaul on Seattle's defense as a whole. I mean, I know they have the two stud linebackers in Wagner and Wright, but
Oh, I wanted us to get Wagner's.
Wagner's about as good as it gets in terms of linebackers.
Who was the recent free agent, right?
KJ Wright that
I
re-signed
wanted
there
them to
for a
get him
year.
So bad.
Yep. They got that deal with. They got to sign Russell, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, give him
Russell
the
Wilson set a deadline,
April 15th deadline. That'd be interesting to get your take on it.
You
Kind
got
of
to
from
sign
a
him.
what?
Hey, you got to pay him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
That's quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, and he's probably, in my opinion, the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. He does so
yeah.
much.
For a team that has,
Really doesn't
Just-
have any offensive weapons other than
Doug
basically
Baldwin.
Baldwin.
but I mean, look at what they've done to the offensive line.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's-
Was it Unger that they traded away?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, for Jimmy Graham, who did nothing in Seattle when he was there.
Who had some good seasons, but by no means Jimmy Graham seasons.
Right. Yeah, he left New Orleans and just was not the same guy.
Yeah.
And I think Unger was an All-Pro first year in New Orleans, maybe.
Oh, he
Unger's
was.
been an All-Pro,
Oh, yeah.
I think, 2 of the 4 years
Yeah, he's a hell of a
since the
player.
trade.
Oh,
he
that's
just
great.
retired.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah,
Good for him.
but I mean, injuries for an offensive lineman, you can never fault a guy for that.
No.
but
That's true.
I
Yeah.
can't fault anyone when they hang it up. And he got his money.
He
makes
got
money.
paid.
yeah, he
New
got
Orleans,
paid.
New Orleans signed him to a deal. Like, he got paid.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
no.
Seattle's, I mean, if you have Carroll and you have Russell Wilson, you're going to be in it because they're both gamers.
Yeah.
I know people think that around here, when he was coaching, people thought he was kind of a joke, but he's not.
There's still a stigma around New England for Pete Carroll.
Yep.
Just
Yeah,
Petey
I think
boy,
it's just
500 Petey.
Yeah, it's a
that's
sour taste in our mouth just
Yeah.
from, that era. But, I mean, he's had tremendous success with
Yeah.
the Seahawks, obviously.
Did all right at USC, too.
Ah,
Yeah,
you know,
so,
you
I'd
you
say
could
okay.
argue that he was a a decent coach that put on some talent. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so if I'm Seattle, I'm doing whatever it takes.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
I mean,
if you don't think they've reached that contract negotiation by the 15th, what do you think will happen going forward from there?
He won't report. He'll wait it out. They'll get something done. Probably won't get that sloppy, just because Russell Wilson, you know what kind of guy he is.
you're
Right.
right.
Man,
Is it a perception, you think, or do you think he actually is?
I think he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
He's an agent's dream. I mean, he's perfect.
Yeah,
he's never
everybody
going to say the
says
wrong
he's, like,
thing.
the
He's not going to
nicest
do the
guy.
wrong thing.
Yeah.
Right. He's not going to put himself in a bad spot.
No.
What goes on in those negotiations? Like, so when you're negotiating with a team, who are you even talking to? Are you talking to the head coach? Are you talking to everybody? Are you even there? Or are you at home and you just like?
Anyone
I mean,
can do it. I'm just at home and I just say, yeah, sure, okay. You want to sign my guy? Let's do it. No, you get a call from your scout who was the area scout. So for Emmanuel Beal, for example, he was the Midwest scout for Seattle. Obviously liked something about Emmanuel. He kept in contact with us throughout the draft process. And then probably the 5th or 6th round, you start getting calls from teams saying, hey, listen, we got interest in your guy Emmanuel. I don't know if we're going to take him with one of our 2 or 3 remaining picks, but just know that we're going to call you right after the draft. So you get excited. Sometimes they never call you. I was naive to think that if they said it, they meant it, but they don't. Actually had a guy, Jalen Williams, he was a wide receiver from UMass a few years ago. Really good player. He just had injury issues. Some people thought he was going to be the better pro prospect than Tajay Sharp. Obviously he wasn't,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But I remember San Francisco calling me repeatedly for weeks leading up to the draft saying we're going to draft him. Then the draft comes 5th or 6th round. They call, we're not going to draft him, but we're going to sign him right afterwards. An hour goes by after the draft. 2 hours goes by. You're just staring at your phone, wondering if there's something wrong with your phone. There's got to be something wrong with the phone because they're calling, right?
Right.
They didn't call. So they lie sometimes. And whatever. They may have had a guy who they had higher rated on their board who they didn't think was going to be there, but he was,
Right.
and they signed him. So it's business, but it's stressful. You're just sitting there, and the family's calling you, and they're saying, "Hey, why hasn't Jalen signed with someone? Why isn't our guy signed with anyone yet?" And you got to try to talk them off the cliff, and it's kind of their dreams flashing before them.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, it's your fault, even though I don't have a whole lot of control over the situation.
Right.
Fortunately, Jalen grew up diehard Giants fan, and then I get the call from a New York area code, and they said, "Yeah, we're going to sign Jalen," and he lost his mind.
Wow.
That was the coolest experience. I
Wow,
wish I
good
had,
for him.
I wish I had recorded it. It would have been great branding for the company. He, I call him on the phone. I have him on speaker. I can hear his family behind him, and I said, "Jalen, just want to let you know you're now a member of the Giants," and he started crying, and the family starts crying, and that's rewarding. It feels cool.
Yeah.
The other end of the spectrum is tough when they don't get the call. I've had a few guys that never get the call, and what can I say? I mean, I just fall on the sword.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of good and bad of the draft and what happens right after the draft. It can be really disappointing for these guys.
So for priority free agents specifically, it seems like you hear immediately after, or almost like the second the draft ends, you hear guys are getting signed.
Yeah.
In whatever app or website you follow.
Sure.
Are there any negotiations right before the draft is over?
Not really.
Or is it just unofficial that becomes official later?
So what'll happen is,
Well, do you mind just prefacing what that is? Because I
Sure.
know a lot of people don't know specifically what that part of
Oh,
kinda
okay.
the draft is.
So yeah, like once the NFL draft, once number 253
yeah,
for
Who knows?
is once that pick is done, the undrafted free agents, everyone who declared for the draft or was a free agent or whatever, didn't get picked, they are then signed by teams to fill out camp rosters or fight for a roster spot.
come in for a tryout.
Right.
But the priority free agents, each team is allocated, I think it was $80,000 the last 2 or 3 years, $80,000 to spend as priority free agents. You can actually give them a signing bonus. Some teams, you'll see the Patriots, I think a few years ago was it Jacob Hollister? I
Yep.
think they put aside like $60,000 of the 80 for him. So they must have had like a 5th round grade on him, and they were surprised he slipped, and they called him right after the draft. Spent all of their priority bonus money on him. But the only negotiation, rarely, you'll just say yes because you're excited that your guy, if he's a free agent, you're not going to get cute. If they get any bonus money, that's an added bonus. So I think for a manual, they called and they had offered, I think, 3,000 or 4,000 to sign. And who else had? Tyler Rutenbeck, my first guy, he got 10 grand from the Redskins, which was
nice.
pretty significant.
Yeah.
He ended up getting cut after the first day of camp, but they liked him. So that's
Walked
what.
away with some money in his pocket.
Yeah, so that's what the priority stage is all about. That usually goes on for the first 24-ish. No, actually, probably the first 4 hours. The teams know what they want to do with that money.
Mm-hmm.
So you wait around. You hope you get a call for Jalen, the kid who signed with the Giants. I think it took 4 hours after the draft, and I'm just sitting there impatiently hoping something happens. And it was such a relief when the Giants called. But other times you'll get the call a second after the draft ends. For Emmanuel, the Seahawks called immediately, and that was it. And there's no negotiation. You say, okay, if you want to get cute, you can try to get another couple thousand, but why bother?
Right.
Because they could just say, okay, no.
Yeah, you
on to
don't
the
want
next
to risk
guy.
it over, $1,000, $2,000.
And you better believe they're not going to pick up the phone. If you try to get cute and they hang up on you and you call back, they're not going to pick up.
Right.
They've already signed someone.
Yeah. I mean, they have a list of guys, and that was just.
They just
one
go
of-
through the list.
Mhm.
So yeah, to go back to the original question, there's not a whole lot of negotiation going on. I'm not talking to Bill Belichick. I'm not talking to Kraft. I'm talking to an area scout. He'll call. He'll say, "You good? Has he signed with anyone?" You say, "No, he's ready to sign with you guys." All right, done. We'll get the contract to you in 2 or 3 days. And that's it. And then you sign on the dotted line.
So it's not like Ballers. You don't drive your car to the stadium, kick the front door down of the owner, and then start negotiating.
No, I tried to do that my first year. It didn't work very well. It's nothing like Ballers. It's nothing like Jerry Maguire. It's if I hear someone say you must be like Jerry Maguire one more time, I might just hang it up. I'm done.
Might be done.
Show me the money. How many times have I heard that?
What of that show is even close to reality? Is it all just for show? The whole thing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's The Rock. I mean, that's
Yeah,
essentially.
Well, I
his
know he's not
thing,
kicking
but-
down doors, threatening people, but I didn't know how seedy the whole situation. Like they make it look very seedy. Like there's a lot of back, which it could be.
There
maybe
is.
with some
There
bigger
is.
players.
Yeah,
but-
there is.
A lot of back channeling.
Yeah,
and
a
I
lot of
think
back channeling.
I think I made it a point to not watch Ballers.
Did you?
You
I
don't
think
like
so.
the false promise of it.
Yeah.
Or any
I'm
weird
not-
expectations.
I'll just feel horrible about myself if I watch that and think that that's what it's actually like.
Yeah.
There are some things that happen, especially down around Miami. I'm guessing the show's based out of Southern Florida.
I think it's out of Miami, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know what happened. What was that? Early 2000s?
The
When
whole
there
thing
was
with the
just
U.
So much money.
Oh, yeah, University of Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just had runners going down there.
Mhm.
And for people who don't know, a runner is basically just a middleman who goes and coordinates things, hands off the money, all that kind of good stuff. But that was rampant down in Miami.
Yeah.
And it still goes on.
For sure.
Oh,
That's just-
definitely. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's hush, hush, wink, wink,
Yeah.
It's just
I'm
maybe the
certainly not
middleman for the
doing that.
middleman. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, they just got better at hiding it. to
I have a couple
point.
$100. I'll go down to Miami and they'll tell me to kick rocks and I'll go home. But yeah, I mean that stuff happens a little bit. Ballers is probably a little over the top, I would imagine. I haven't seen Jerry Maguire in a long time, but what is he? He's got like that one guy, the wideout. Is
It's
that-
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba
Oh,
Gooding
yeah.
Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr. Wow.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
to him,
Think
right?
about that.
Jeez.
man.
That's
Yeah.
wild. So was he like the under the radar kind of guy?
No, he was like the big star.
Oh shit.
I think
It's-
movie guy.
Yeah, tell me about
I
Jerry
think so.
Maguire. What was that movie all about?
Yeah, well, that's a good
Give me
question.
like
I've
a
actually never seen it.
There you go.
Worst movie guy ever.
Hey, I can't see them all, all right? I can't see them all.
But
There's
no,
so
when
many.
people ask me what it's like to be an NFL agent, my answer is pretty easy. It's just you're a glorified babysitter for the most part.
So it is kind of like Ballers, I guess.
A little bit, I guess.
They do, well, that's definitely a bigger babysitting gig, but...
You know where fun stuff happens in terms of shady dealings is at the combine.
Oh,
Yeah, that
I'd
makes
imagine
sense.
So,
yeah, there's some stuff that goes on.
Yeah, there you go.
I actually just got.
Show
look at
me
that.
the
There it is.
money!
Show me the money. Yep. I actually just got back from the combine. So if you're an NFL agent, you have to go to either the combine or one other NFLPA event throughout the year, and it's usually in California. So I just go with the combine.
That must be so terrible.
It's
I'm just kidding.
it's
Must be
it
so
is
fun.
it's actually awful.
Is it?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it just helps my point even
Yeah.
more, how much I hate the combine.
Love the combine.
I love
hate
the
it.
combine, but
Damn it.
if you
That doesn't help.
if you could pick a group of people that I would rather not be around more than NFL agents, I don't think you'd find him. So it's just all of the NFL agents are at the combine, and you have to muck it up with them, and it's not an enjoyable experience. Saw Rosenhaus there. He was being loud and obnoxious.
That sounds about right.
So he was
The karate
just
chief.
whispering to someone, like what?
He was just being he was on his phone congratulating one of his associates on something, and he was saying,
Sounds about right.
"You're a boss, man. You're a boss. That's my boy." Like just being really loud and annoying.
Jeez.
Yeah. Everyone needs to know that Rosenhaus is there whenever Rosenhaus is there.
Oh God, he's Gronk's agent, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He's the one that's. I don't want to speculate or say anything, but it's like, dude, shut the hell up.
Do you know what
Stop.
that means?
It means he'll probably be back.
What it means is Gronk put him in a bad spot by not telling the Patriots. He knows how important it is to have a good relationship with the Patriots, so he's trying to cover his bases. That's what it is.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Look at this, some insight. I like
Yep.
it.
Yep. So I wish I had that problem of making up for Gronk. He's a good guy to sign too. I mean, talk about representing a guy. Him and Russell Wilson, they're like a dream.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson never gets in trouble, and Gronk never spends his money.
True.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever spent a cent on his contract.
He spent it once. I think
Once on a chain, and it wasn't at Bellman's.
He didn't get it at Bellman's.
What a moron.
I know.
What a moron.
Hey,
Guy.
we don't insult the legend that is Gronk.
I know, you can't even be mad at him. But he
Look
like
at him. He's
they-
so
Can be a little mad.
Gronky.
Could have went to Bellman's.
it was such a
Interesting.
fun article because he's like, I get why people like chains now. He like wears it everywhere and he won't take it off, and he's like, I get it.
Is it a gold chain?
Yeah, it's a big, heavy gold Cuban.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
So,
I
who
can see
do you
how
guys-
getting stuck in a room with that guy could be real freaking irritating.
Oh, it'd get really obnoxious pretty quick.
God.
And in the whole family, you get the whole circus.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
crazy.
That boat must be fun. The Gronk boat.
Oh, I was
Gronk
talking
boat.
about Rosenhaus.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Gronkowski family. Oh, if there is a Rosenhaus family, count me out. I'll take the Gronks anytime.
Keeping up with the Rosenhaus
At least
is
it'd be
going to be
fun,
something
yeah.
you want to subscribe
Oh
to.
my God, kill me. Tony Gonzalez or Gronk?
So we actually,
Oh,
we
almost
actually
had this debate.
Right,
We did have this
We
debate.
talked about this a little bit off air.
Was
But
that when we were golfing?
yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was.
That
It was,
sounds
at,
about
it
right.
was at the virtual golf place. It's a
So
millennial thing to say.
I said Gronk
Mm-hmm.
based on just all of the complete assets that he has, whether it was blocking. He always perfectly executed any assignment he had
He did?
for any play. He had the most incredible hands I've ever seen.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen him. Like, there isn't one major catch that happened where I was like, dude, you need to catch that.
You wouldn't believe how big his hands are.
Like, oh my God.
It's like
literally,
upwards.
it looked like a bear, just like,
Yeah.
oh my God. I mean, Gonzalez is an athletic freak, but he's mostly he's a receiver. He's a nasty receiver.
he's
But I mean, Gronk
unbelievable.
was an unbelievable blocker.
Tony
too.
Gonzalez is like the best version of Jimmy Graham for the longest
Sure
period
is.
of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So it's very.
Kind of remember when the whole Gronk or Jimmy Graham debate was happening when he was in. Well, you gonna cut me off? What?
Yeah, what team was Tony Gonzalez on?
Chiefs and Falcons.
Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to get you the stats.
No, it's fine. I'm just messing.
Oh, the
yeah.
stats are
But
otherworldly.
Tony Gonzalez has top 10 receiving stats in general, like better than Hall of Famers galore.
Absolutely.
You know, he's up there. So it's almost disrespectful to be like, nah, I'm not taking Gonzalez for.
So if only
Well, I also
But-
say, look at Gronk's numbers, and he
Gonzalez-
played far less.
Right, he played 9 seasons, but do you take longevity and say that Gronk didn't play as long as Gonzalez did?
Now, you could say the same thing about
So
Barry
if you could
Sanders.
only put
Barry
one-
Sanders didn't play as
I
long,
know.
but his nasty during his time.
That's why he's also not considered to be the greatest at his position. It's Jim Brown, it's
Sorry,
Walter
continue.
Payton, it's Marshall Faulk, it's guys who did it longer.
If you could put one tight end in the Hall of Fame, would it be Gronk or?
Oh, Gronk. Because Gronk is everything a tight end is, where Tony Gonzalez excelled at part of what a tight end is. So in terms of a complete tight end, it's Gronk.
Yes.
But
Thank you.
Tony Gonzalez was special at the tight end position for a really long time.
I didn't think I'd be coming in here tonight and making enemies with Patriots fans, but I think I would go Tony Gonzalez
I get it.
because I think availability is.
Availability's huge.
Yeah.
I think Gronk's the most dominant tight end of all time. I
Hey, to
think
be fair, I think they should both be Hall of Famers. So
they both are going to be. Yeah. First
Yeah.
ballot.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
So-
But
But
greatest of all
does
time.
Gronk-
That was like Brady Montana. Like it's.
Does Gronk retiring now, though, set a standard that guys like Antonio Gates, like Jason Witten, like that? Well, they're not Gronk, But Gates is a surefire. I'm not questioning Gates by any means.
Gates 100% is a Hall of Famer.
But do you look at it and say, well, Gronk's going to get into the Hall of Fame before Witten because, well, he's going to be eligible before him as of right now. Gates, maybe another year, so he might be behind him too.
Gates should have hung it up a few years ago.
I know.
He's a pretty big boy now.
I give him credit, though, because he's hanging in there.
Yeah.
What is he, like almost 40?
He's 38.
38, 39
So, I mean, he's there.
Yeah.
Like, I give him a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah.
And he was
Kudos,
so
but-
dominant for
He was
so
phenomenal.
long. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But do you now look at it and say, well, Gronk's the gold standard? Jason, like compare Jason Witten's numbers season by season to Gronk.
Wow,
Jason
so
Witten
dominant.
doesn't stack up.
No, he doesn't. But
Like
he played
Longevity.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have Gronk for another 5 years, and that tells you how impressive it is that Witten is still doing it.
Absolutely.
It's good that he's doing football instead of broadcasting.
Oh, my God, thank God.
That was
So
tough.
I've got all their stats. You've got Jason Witten. He's played 240 games. Antonio Gates 220. Gronk's like 102.
Yeah,
But
To,
so, like, look
to
at those
Tony
numbers.
Gonzalez,
That's
270 games.
that's crazy.
270?
How many
Holy
All-Pro years
crap.
did Tony Gonzalez have?
Oh,
At
He
least
had
5 or 6.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, oops. He did. He had a lot.
All-Pro?
So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. And then All-Pro second, he had 4 more.
maybe
Unreal.
All-Pro first was 6. All-Pro second was 4.
yeah.
What is it? Him and Junior Seau, the most Pro Bowl. I think Junior Seau was
Seau,
the
he
most
was
of all time, like
nasty.
Because
13.
Seau got it his rookie year, I think,
Yeah.
and then just from there never
Nasty.
missed a beat.
He was unreal.
Oh,
That was
man.
sad to see that confetti dropping on him in 07. You remember that?
Yeah.
Walking off the field. And
No.
then-
God, you're making me feel things
I know,
I haven't
I know,
felt
I
in
know.
like
Right in the
over 10
feelers,
years,
man.
man. Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, we
What
gotta
are
start
you
bringing
doing?
Everyone's
issues
going
in
to turn this
here.
podcast off. I thought this kid was from New Hampshire. What the hell is he doing?
Witten has
depressing
better
us,
stats than Gronk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's played 100 plus more games.
I guess he hasn't caught him on touchdowns.
Witten's probably a Hall of Famer, too.
He probably is, but if you look at him season by season, it's his yards per catch isn't impressive. I don't think he really exploded in terms of yardage
Yeah,
much.
but we're talking about Hall of Famer, not like best.
And then
of all
Gates is
time,
going to
you know?
catch Gonzalez for most of his stats.
That's
If
crazy.
he keeps playing.
He was.
I mean, he's going to keep
Gates was so
playing,
good.
but it's like he's going to get like 300 yards maybe.
He'll probably catch like
touchdown
20
or two.
balls in a good year moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, he doesn't have another 450
No.
receptions in him to catch that, but he does
No.
have more touchdowns already. He's got, I mean, these stats are crazy to look at. Gronk has, the only thing he has is a ton of touchdowns.
Yeah.
Well,
Touchdown machine.
Gronk
That
was,
it was-
9 seasons.
Right.
Right.
So the sample size is almost half of Gonzalez, who played.
Which is amazing because
Well,
he almost
15?
caught Tony Gonzalez's touchdown record.
I know.
So that's kind of crazy. He's only 35 off.
No, I know. I mean, that's maybe 3 seasons for Gronk. I mean,
What does
that's-
Belichick always say? The best ability is availability.
Yeah.
That's the issue with Gronk.
Oh, it's so true.
Yeah. They lost the Super Bowl, was it 12 or 13? The year that
was
he got
13.
injured in the playoffs?
Yeah,
That-
the bum ankle because
That's
Bernard
bad.
Pollard
yeah.
tackled him
God,
helmet
jeez.
first on his ankle.
I'm just bringing up
Yeah, I
everything.
remember.
Let's talk all
I
about
remember.
Let's revisit Bernard Pollard. Let's talk about David Tyree.
You mean Bernard Pollard, the guy who tore Brady's
Oh
ACL,
my God, you're
broke
making
Gronk's
like
ankle?
childhood me want to
Yeah.
jump in front of a bus right
Yeah.
now. Oh my God!
Yeah.
What
Don't
else,
do it,
What
little
else
girl.
did Bernard Pollard do?
Oh God,
What didn't he
that
do?
guy.
He was always screwing things up for the Patriots.
He was a good safety, though.
He was.
I got
He
to
was
say,
pretty good.
Bernard Pollard could play.
Yep.
He was the definition of a strong safety.
Yeah, he was.
Just a good, hard-hitting
He
strong
was a big
safety.
boy.
Yeah.
I like those kind of the thumpers. Good old thumpers.
He played like a bit like Brian Dawkins.
Yep.
Just right
Brian
before the rule
Dawkins.
change about the crown of the helmet, Bernard Pollard and Brian Dawkins were just ruthless.
Dawkins was a weird dude when he got on the field. That whole Wolverine thing he did before the games.
It's tapped.
I like it.
But
But hey, man, he played. That's for damn sure.
he was
He
damn
showed up
good
and played.
too.
yeah. I totally digress, but if we're talking safeties, Ed Reed's as good as it gets.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
So the Ed Reed Palomalo debate, you take Ed Reed?
Not even a question.
Okay, good.
Not even a question.
Good.
Wait,
Paul
was
was
it-
good though.
Was Reed a free safety or strong safety?
He was a free safety. Yeah.
Well, he was a free safety, but
Okay.
the Ravens generally played cover 2, so it was like 2.
Yeah.
That Ravens defense, man.
It was,
Well, yeah.
It's
Ed
unbelievable.
Reed, that was somebody you feared, like on offense. Anytime you saw them going for like
Well,
a
think
deep
about it.
ball, your heart stopped because you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, he's picking you off.
Four
Yeah.
guys,
Oh,
four
yeah.
guys on one team is Terrell Suggs, Haloti Ngata, Ray Lewis, and Ed Reed.
Yep.
Think about that.
Yep.
Like that core is insane.
Mm-hmm.
You have Ngata stopping everything that gets to him. You have Suggs on your back as a quarterback. You have Ray
Right.
Lewis in the middle and Ed Reed getting everything deep.
Yep.
Just every level is stuck.
Oh yeah.
You could stop at Reed and Lewis.
Yeah,
The best,
right.
in my opinion, the best safety of all time and one of the 3 or 4 best linebackers of all time playing in their prime together.
Absolutely.
That was wild. So, any other questions about Granite Sports? I'm happy to talk about, or I'll just
Keep going down memory
talk-
lane.
Yeah,
let's
It's
just talk
depressing.
about all these depressing Patriots moments.
Well, I will say, what's your with the NFL draft coming up?
Mhm.
What's the kind of preparation process for you? Like, so you're going to the combine. Do you
Yeah.
do any other things? Whether it's reaching out to different agents,
Spend a lot of
or-
money. Spend a lot of money that I don't see a return on yet. I mean, for me to make back my money on guys at this point, they got to get into a second contract because you're paying for travel, you're paying for training, which is unbelievably expensive.
Oh, I'd imagine.
Usually 8 to 10 grand a guy.
Oh, jeez.
I've been lucky enough to partner, I guess we'll call it that. I have a good relationship with a guy named Pete Bomarito, and he's probably the best trainer in the industry. He trains Odell. He trains, you name it, Antonio, Le'Veon, all those
Damn.
guys. So I sent Jalen down to work out with him, and it cost over 10. And then you're paying for travel to go see the family. You're paying for a few fun nights out because they don't have any money when they get out of
Keep them
college.
happy.
Right.
Make
Yeah.
sure they're
So that costs a lot of money, and you're just hoping you can just get from January, usually first week of January when their last game is, to the draft, and then you're good. You don't have to spend any more money, assuming they sign with the team. So that's what goes into it. You're talking to teams. You're kind of walking the thin line between reaching out to teams too much and keeping the interest there.
don't want to be annoying, but you want
There's
to
an
make
art
sure
to
that
it.
your name's there.
Yeah, there's an art to it, and it took some time for me to learn. I probably annoyed some teams at the outset. You get a few contacts in the league, and then you just hammer away at them.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, my contacts were with the Browns, the Jets, and the Buccaneers at the beginning.
yeah.
so
Well,
that-
Brown's looking good now, but yeah, at the
Yeah.
beginning, I could see how it would be like, oh boy.
It's crazy how it's so easy to see why teams are successful and why other teams aren't. You just look at their management. Like it takes 5 minutes to know that certain teams don't know what they're doing.
So once the Browns pretty much got John Dorsey in the door, it was like
Yep.
night and day.
Yeah, they got an idea.
Do you think the Bucks are could be that next team with like a Bruce Arians coaching staff?
I don't think
Or
so.
do you think it starts higher?
Unfortunately, I don't think so. It really does start at the top, and I don't know why. And maybe it's just an intangible thing. Maybe it's just a culture thing, but it starts there. And why are the Steelers always successful? Giants, Patriots, Steelers. Crazy what's going on with them.
Oh my God, yeah.
I still think they're going to be fine.
Yeah, they will.
I mean, I don't think they're going to win the division this year, but I think this is going to be like that fluff year.
You going with the Browns?
I'm gonna take the Browns because I want it to be the Browns so badly.
I was gonna say, if you say the Ravens, I'm gonna laugh in your face
I'll
because
take
there's
the
no
Ravens.
Lamar Jackson.
So-
Really?
I'll just default to the Ravens anytime because they're so well run.
They are. They are.
I cannot see Lamar Jackson.
So Ozzie
Oh,
Newsome's
jeez.
out as GM. You
I
think
know.
there's going to be any blip? You think Lamar
There could be.
Jackson can do
There
it?
could be an issue there, but
I mean-
Harbaugh's he's solid.
Harbaugh is. Harbaugh absolutely is, and I don't question him as a good coach.
Yeah,
But like you said, it starts at the top.
it does.
There is a bit
It
of a
does.
culture thing.
And Newsome is the
New-
guy.
Newsom had his thumb on everything.
Yep.
He was a former player, former Hall of Fame player.
He was a
himself.
Belichick disciple, I think.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No way.
Yep. I think Harbaugh. Sorry, not
Harbaugh
Harbaugh.
was.
Sorry, not Harbaugh. Newsome, Belichick. They all and Saban. They were all under the Parcells tree.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't realize that.
Yep.
I believe you mean. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who else? There was one other big time. Oh, who's the GM of the Jaguars now? Former
still
coach of the
David
Giants.
Caldwell? Oh,
yeah,
Coughlin.
Coughlin,
He was
yeah.
part of that. He was part of them too.
Yeah.
Crazy coaching staff.
Oh my God.
And then you had Lawrence Taylor, which
Right.
made it easy.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor makes a defense easy to
He's pretty good.
run. Yeah.
He's okay. Yeah.
Well, if you ask Bill, he's the greatest player he's ever.
Oh my God.
Laid eyes
Belichick
on.
gushes over him.
I mean,
It's
it's
unreal.
hard not
Like
to.
you can't get 2 sentences from him in a freaking press conference, but you mentioned Lawrence Taylor and he won't shut the hell up. Like, holy crap.
You mentioned the Glory Day Giants, and it's just
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor was there.
Tears up. Lawrence Taylor enjoyed his extracurriculars too.
Oh,
That's for sure.
yeah.
Actually, he brought him onto the field too.
yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did. That's why he was always so amped up.
I guess
so,
I'm
geez.
not surprised. It's just to hear it is different.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean the process is January to the draft. You're just surviving, making sure they don't get in trouble. which
Right.
happens. And Bomberillo's place is down in Miami too, so that's
Oh,
a
that's
problem.
gonna
So
make
that
it tough.
creates it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. That.
When I hear guys tell me they want to go to like Iowa, it's well, awesome. They're not gonna get in trouble. They're not gonna do anything.
Please.
There's nothing to do.
Right in the middle of Wyoming, please.
Yeah. Miami's
yeah.
another story. So
Oh.
I had to monitor that pretty closely.
That's the
Glorified
babysitting aspect you were bringing up. Yeah.
I feel like you can literally accidentally go to a club in Miami. You don't exactly accidentally stumble anywhere in Iowa. Just
There's nothing to do.
where are we? Des Moines?
Yeah, and then you just walk out of your apartment in Miami and you're at a club.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell, your apartment could turn into a club.
It could.
It's like-
It absolutely could. Why not?
You invite the right people over. Anything,
I guess
anything
so,
happens.
jeez.
Yep. That's where Rosenhaus lives, I think. I think he's down in Miami.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes
see,
sense.
that explains it. This freaking Rosenhaus.
And he went to the U, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
He's got his hands all over the U.
Oh yeah.
And those teams in the early 2000s, they were NFL teams playing at Miami.
Oh my god. That's
Oh my God.
that's arguably the only time you could say that
Yes,
college team
I
could
agree.
beat a pro team.
It's laughable when they talk about Alabama. They would get
Like-
stomped. They would lose by 50
Like,
playing Jacksonville.
I was gonna say. I mean, if you were to even do that to that like Ofer Browns team a
Yep.
couple years ago, that team's still beating Bama.
Absolutely.
Like
Wouldn't
not a
even be
question.
close.
But man, those U teams.
When
It was like Ed Reed, like Vince Wilfork, like
Jeremy Shockey was like the backup tight end.
right.
Shocky.
Think
Oh,
about
wow.
that.
Yep.
Jeremy Shockey was a damn good tight end.
Yeah, I think they had Portis, Najee Davenport, and Willis McGahee.
Oh, that's right, McGahee.
Pretty decent, stable.
I liked
running backs.
McGahee.
I
I
did
really
too.
liked McGahee. He was one guy that
He was
always
good,
just
yeah.
kind of flew under the radar. He was
Solid
never
points,
a top
yeah.
5 running back ever. But
He was
always
Anquan
good.
Bolden.
Always solid.
Yes.
I
That is
always
a
thought
great
Anquan Bolden would be a
comparison.
Patriot. Always.
He
That
just
would've
would have
been
made
so awesome.
sense.
Yep.
That would
Could play the slot, tough over the middle, good hands.
What do I know? I thought him and Golden Tate were the two guys I just always thought would be Patriots.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we thought one of them would be this season, but clearly that's not happening.
He got paid.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even blame him if we offered him anything, but
We definitely didn't match.
did.
What was it? Something, was it 30 guaranteed?
I think,
I
I think it was
think
like
so.
10
That's
mil
nuts.
something.
Get
30
that guaranteed money.
for 31-year-old wide receiver,
Yeah. But like
Go.
our depth chart right now is Edelman, Slater, Dorsett,
Philip Dorsett's there.
Harris.
Sorry about it.
I mean, we need bodies.
Speaking
Throw
of the
my
U,
fat
Bruce
ass
Ellington.
out there. Are you kidding? We
Speaking
need
of the
somebody.
U, Dorsett. Was
Yeah.
he? Yeah, he was in Miami.
Dorset was first-round pick out of the U.
That guy can fly.
Oh
Yeah,
my god!
yeah.
I just wish we would use him.
I know.
I don't
We
know
never
if it's
use them.
I don't know if it's a him thing or a system thing or
know.
a
He was really solid this
Yeah.
last year.
I
That was
mean,
a clutch
that touchdown
in
he
the
had in
AFC
the,
game.
Kansas
yeah.
City.
Oh God.
That was one of the best games I've seen. Period.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. I was gonna have a heart attack. It wasn't because of my weight. It was because of the game. Oh my God. I was freaking losing it.
It's wild.
Oh.
A third and +6. Everyone in the building knows they're going to Edelman, and they still can't stop it.
Yep.
And I think he's making what, like $2 or $3 million this year.
Yeah.
That one blows
criminally
my
underpaid.
Mind. That one blows my mind.
There's got to
I'm
be
not a
some
Belichick
side
guy,
deal there. I don't know,
but
man.
my
He loves
God.
Brady.
That
Yeah,
is-
I know.
Hopefully Brady's giving him some, cash from either him or Giselle, because he damn sure deserves that money
I hope TB12 is funding it.
for
I don't know.
Edelman.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that poor guy, he should be getting paid.
He
Oh
takes a
my God.
beating.
Yeah.
Whoever his agent is should be fired.
It's
Yeah,
the
just
same
sign
as
with
the
me.
Brady's.
Why isn't he signing with me?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Because he wants to be like Brady.
that's true. I wish I had Brady too.
Doesn't he have is it
Oh,
Don Yee?
I have no idea.
Is it? Yeah, Brady's done.
Brady has Don Yee.
And Garoppolo.
I think Edelman has him too.
Probably makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How do you get in touch with these guys? Do you call them?
Yeah.
Or when you do call them, how do you get a dude's number? Some kid in college or even an NFL player. How do you get their number?
It's a good question. At the
Is it a
outset,
bad question, like
no,
a
it's
non-answerable
a good question.
question?
I mean, it's
at the-
Alex. How do you get a girl's number? Because I'm still trying to figure that out too.
Me
I
too.
can help
Let me
you
know
out.
how to do that. I called in every favor I had at the beginning. If I knew anyone who knew someone who went to class with a guy, that's how you need to just pull out all the stops. And then from there, it's like I said, once you get one guy in the league, it sort of makes things a bit easier. It's easier to get access to these guys, but it's social media. If there wasn't social media, Granite Sports never would have happened. I would have had to go with a bigger agency that already had the Rolodex of guys and had ins with every school. But nowadays, I can just reach out to a guy on Instagram and be like, hey, man, let's hop on a quick call. I like your game. Not going to be a bother. Give me 5 minutes of your time, and I'll just tell you what I'm all about, and that's it. and then you hope that you hit it off. I've had some guys that I talk to, and it's just like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
You know it's not going to work. And sometimes you just say, all right, man, I'm going to go. This isn't going to work. But then there's guys like Lucas Dennis. Great relationship right at the beginning. Hit it off really well. Obviously, he ended up going with a bigger agency, but it's the initial 5 minutes, you know whether you're going to have a chance with a guy.
So it's essentially the initial elevator pitch really
Sure.
just makes it
And that
breaks it.
first impression is just critical.
Absolutely. And I don't even know what my elevator pitch is. It's just kind of smaller agency. You're not a number. It's a family environment. I'm going to be there every hour of the day to talk to you. You're always going to know that I'm there. That's not going to be the case with some of these bigger agents. You're just going to be one of 50 guys.
Yeah.
Granite Sports, we sign 2 or 3 guys max each year. I only have one guy this year, running back out of Western Kentucky. He'll be a good player. He kind of like LeGarrette Blount, big bruising guy.
Yeah.
Although LeGarrette Blount's really athletic, surprisingly.
LeGarrette Blount plays better when he just lets to use his athleticism
Yeah.
as opposed to
For
pounding
sure.
up the middle.
I mean, I'll never forget that leap he had over that. You remember that ridiculous leap?
When he's playing for the Bucks.
He's
Oh
done that
my
a couple
God.
times now. He
But
did that
like
at
for
college
a big
too.
boy,
That was his
I was
thing.
like, damn.
I'll never forget when he erased that guy from Boise State, punched him in the face after the game.
That kid deserved it.
Oh, yeah, that kid got
to this
popped.
to this day. Actually, I was a big Boise State fan, so I was like, you can't. I can't
Yeah.
punk. Yeah, he got it.
What was it? He
Good
was
punch.
talking trash after the game.
Yeah, he was like getting in his face because Boise beat him in like a really emotional, close game, and
Go talk to the punter. What are you doing talking to LeGarrette Blount? That's not the guy.
yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. So my guy this year is kind of a clone of LeGarrette Blount.
Nice.
Goal line guy. He'll stick with the team. He won't get drafted, but he'll sign with the team. He'll be good. He's a
What's
really
his
good
name?
player. DeAndre Furby, running back from Western Kentucky. He was a. I should know this. What's the award for the best running back? Blitnikoff?
Doak Walker,
Or Pliknikov. Doak Walker, yep.
Blitnikoff wide receiver. Yeah.
Yep. He was a Doak Walker watch list guy after his freshman year. And then he blew out his knee, and he's kind of been recovering since then.
Yeah.
But he's good. He's really good.
I mean, you've kind of seen it. That second and third year after big knee injury for running back, that's their sweet spot.
For
He
sure.
could be entering like a
That first year, you're thinking about it.
yeah.
Every time you
Oh,
cut.
wow. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he's a big boy.
Western Kentucky's kind of created like a decent program too. Like they get some
Yeah, they have.
sneaky guys every now and again.
They got that tight end on the Rams. He can play. Big white kid.
Higbee.
Higby, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. They even have a song, Going Furby, I think is it. It's
Yeah.
pretty- yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
I think
he
it's
is
actually in
impressive.
this. Hold on.
Oh, he buries this kid. Watch this.
Wow.
Bang.
He's got some nice speed, too.
Yeah,
a
he's
little bit
alright.
of a burst.
Big boy, too.
Wow.
Yep. So, just kind of talking about Granite Sports marketing, I see this video of DeAndre Furby, and I think I'm going to start bringing in some interns to do some of my video editing. It takes me about 8 hours to do a 30-second clip.
Wow.
But that's kind of what I branded Granite Sports on. It was being young and relatable to these guys as opposed to some 55-year-old dude who's
Yeah.
totally out of touch with everything.
Right.
So I try to keep it young. I do some trailers. I put it on Instagram. The website, I think it's thegranitesports.com. If you go on there, you'll see that it looks pretty... It's got a good young feel to it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going for.
Well, that's what I kind of like the most when you mentioned, I was like, you don't actually have a quote-unquote sales pitch or like an elevator
No.
pitch. Whereas that's, I mean, if I was somebody, that's what I would want. Somebody that's transparent, honest. Like, I don't want some sleazy, agent.
Yeah, because
that-
no agents are like that.
Yeah.
There's no sleazy agents
So,
out there.
I mean,
Never.
that is,
Never.
it's nice that you tailor like each situation, each conversation to the person.
Yeah.
And be relatable.
Yeah,
Like
you.
that goes a long way.
It does. When you do your homework before you talk to a guy, it goes a long way.
Yeah, just knowing something about them instead of just being like, oh, hey, I'm an agent, blah, blah, blah. I can do this for you. Let's talk.
Yeah, I want to
But
make
actually,
money off of you.
Yeah, but
It's-
actually knowing the person,
Yeah,
it's like, wow, like this person is invested in me.
their family better like you.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine that.
If their mother doesn't like you, it's over.
Yeah.
You're done. So that goes into it. Usually what happens is I'll talk to a guy a few times. I'll line up a time over the summer to go meet with the family. And you better nail it when you go meet with the family.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy experience.
It's almost
Coming from
like,
New Hampshire and going to some of these places, it's,
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
culture shock.
It's the wildest place.
I forget the town. It was in South Carolina. That was a bit fearful rolling into that town. And
Yeah.
you could tell there's a lot of violence there.
Yeah.
And you go in and you meet with the family, and it's not like anything I had been around. But I kind of pride myself on being able to just kind of adapt to any situation.
Mm-hmm.
I never feel out of place. Sat down with the family, watched TV for a few hours. It was probably like 15 of his family members sat at the table. They grill me with questions about how I'm going to help their son out. And then, assuming all goes well, they sign.
Damn.
Wow.
It's intimidating.
I was going to say, no pressure or anything.
No pressure.
No,
Jeez.
it's totally fine.
Oh my God.
The first time I did it, I was intimidated.
It sounds like what is it on like The Bachelor or something? They have like the guy go to the parents' family.
Yeah, that's
and
what it's like.
Like grilling them.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it would be that kind of anxiety.
It is like that. It
Oh,
is.
man.
It really is. I'd like to say that you get used to it, but you don't. It's always a little bit stressful when you go into these situations. But if you feel confident in what you're doing, it all works out. And you're not lying, so you're never going to get caught. For me, I'm super transparent throughout the entire process. I don't know if all agents are like that. But, I mean, that's dangerous. If you're going to start lying, then you start...
Covering your lies with other lies, and then
you're
it
in trouble.
snowballs.
Then it all falls apart.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the process. You'll reach out to a guy probably his junior or senior year, probably in around August. You'll shoot him a quick message. Say, let's connect at some point during the season. I'm not going to bother you. You got bigger things to worry about. But just know that you're on my radar. Then hopefully you talk to him one or two more times before the season gets over. Then you try to go meet with him and the family, and then you try to lock it up from there.
That's really interesting.
Is there any NFL rules that like you have to
Yeah.
really watch out for?
Absolutely.
That kind of sneak up on you?
You can't promise anything. So if you promise something to a kid before he's played his last game in college, before he's exhausted his eligibility, you'll get popped. I think if you promise something, you're gonna get booted from the NFLPA.
Wow.
Damn.
And you can't offer anything of value. You can't buy anything for them.
Mm-hmm.
But you can talk to them anytime. There's no restrictions on that.
Okay. That's interesting.
I was sort of surprised. I actually, when I first got into it, so to take the NFLPA exam, the entire test is just on the collective bargaining agreement. So you have to memorize it. Talk about a difficult exam.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
I think
Sounds
there
like
were
the boards. Holy crap.
I think there were 300 or 400 people that took it the year I took it, and it was a 21% pass rate.
Wow.
And a lot of these people are attorneys who have all passed the bar,
Right.
and they struggled to pass this.
Wow.
No idea how I passed it, but I did. I got out of there. I actually sat next to Lee Steinberg's son. He was taking it.
Really?
Lee Steinberg's Jerry Maguire, I think. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't think his son's cut out for
That's,
it.
no.
No.
That's interesting.
Well,
Wow.
I mean,
Steinberg's back in the game, though.
is he?
Yeah, he's an agent again. I
Huh.
think he got. I think he had some issues, and he got booted from the NFLPA for a while. But he's an agent again.
Wow. I thought he was done. Like I thought he said he was going to be.
He reps Patrick Mahomes.
Really?
Wait, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Wow.
That kid's gonna get paid.
Oh my
Oh my
god, he is.
God.
I mean, they were talking about him getting like that first like baseball looking contract,
Could be.
which is kind of ironic because he was a two-way player at one point,
Yeah.
right?
He was a hell of a
Wasn't he?
baseball
Yeah.
player. I think his dad played in.
His dad was
yeah.
a stud for the.
Mets,
Braves or
wasn't it?
Mets?
I think it's the Mets.
Man, those Mets.
And I think his
Don't
uncle
ask me how I
played-
know that, but
Hey, I'm
I
glad
think I
one of
saw a
us
video
did.
once. I don't know.
I think we all know who his uncle is if we heard the name. He was a pretty prominent guy too. He played baseball as well.
Alex, want to look up who Patrick Mahomes' uncle is?
Is it Toriano?
Thank you.
It's not Toriano. It was a good player. So obviously it's in the bloodlines for him.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get paid. He's
Oh
gonna
my
get a
God.
lot of money.
At that point, there can't be a negotiation.
No.
It's just, what do you want to stay in Kansas City? I want this.
They better win while they still can.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Tyreek Hill now in trouble and
Mhm.
Kareem Hunt gone,
Kareem Hunt
you
in
can't afford
Cleveland.
to lose those guys.
Yeah.
Especially when you're paying Mahomes, what, a couple million?
And they lost some of their defensive talent, and they were thin on defense kind of to
I
start.
mean, because they traded away D Ford to San Fran
They
for a
traded
second.
Dee Ford.
Justin Houston
Houston's
walked.
gone.
Justin Houston walked.
Yep.
They did get Tyrann Mathieu, though. He's nasty.
He's a good player.
If he stays
But
on
Eric
the
Berry
field.
walked.
Yeah,
They cut
Berry.
Eric Berry.
I'd rather have Eric Berry than Tyrann Mathieu.
I'd rather have a healthy
I agree.
Yeah,
Eric
healthy
Berry.
Eric
but-
Berry.
I don't think he was healthy this year.
No, 5 games. 5 games the
Was it
last
5
2
games?
years.
That's
Last 2
unfortunate
years.
because he was
He was another nasty safety.
one of those like
when
generational safeties.
Mhm.
What are you coming at, Tennessee?
Eric Berry, I think it was Tennessee,
Man, he was good.
but
Yeah,
it
he was
was
up
some SEC school, I
Yep.
think, but it might have been Tennessee. No, Barry was that next guy
Yep.
to just take over the safeties.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was Earl Thomas.
And he did his first few years.
Yeah.
He was legit.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas. Where did he end up?
Baltimore.
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 It's
Yeah.
It's a good,
Baltimore.
It's a good spot.
Yeah.
That's smart. They
I mean-
let Weddle go though, right?
They managed to upgrade from Eric Weddle.
Yeah.
like
That's tough to do.
insane.
That's tough to do.
They got a bona fide top 7 safety in the league right now for Earl Thomas.
If he comes back anything like he was prior to all those injuries, man, they got to steal.
Yeah.
But I think they paid him.
They did.
did get paid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He
did
he
get
got
paid.
his top end safety money
Yep.
that he wanted.
It's worth it.
I'm just surprised it wasn't Dallas that paid him.
Yeah, and he wanted to be in Dallas, I think.
He told Jason Garrett to go after him.
Yep.
They didn't go after him.
Guess not. Jeez.
Well, he didn't tell Jerry. That's probably why.
I think he's from the area. Obviously,
Yeah.
he went to Texas.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he grew up in like Arlington area.
They love their football down there.
And they do usually keep their own.
Yeah.
Like, they make sure their guys, they keep their guys, and they're
Yep.
Cowboys for life. That's why I was more surprised that he never ended up there.
Agreed.
I thought Jones was going to overpay him.
Oh, definitely.
You know what's a crazy?
I mean, Jones was going to take Johnny Manziel until
That
what was
was-
it? His
thank
God
son
his son
crossed
stepped
it
in.
out
Thank
into
God his
Zach
son stepped
Martin.
in.
Zach Martin's now an all pro guard,
Yeah.
so yeah.
So
worked
I am
out.
surprised he didn't throw him like a freaking cruise ship worth of money.
It's crazy. So if I wanted to go represent guys in Texas, there's certain states that make agents pay a posting fee. I think it's $50,000 if I even want to operate.
Oh my God.
I can't. I'll never sign a guy in Texas.
Holy
Damn.
crap.
Like this, yeah.
I think Texas might be the most expensive, followed by Florida, then Georgia, then Oklahoma.
That just
Wow.
totally makes sense.
That does
I would
make
have said
sense.
maybe Cali, but
Yep.
nope.
I mean, those are the
definitely.
hotbeds.
Yeah.
True.
California used to be a hotbed, but it's not. The
It's
last few
dried up.
years.
Seems
Yeah.
like it's dipped up.
Georgia
Then it
is-
dipped down.
Georgia's about as
Georgia's
good as
stepped up big time.
I grew up such a Dogs fan, so
Yeah.
I love me some Georgia football.
Yeah.
But not anymore. I have no bias anymore.
Yeah.
But
That's
there's
gotta
so
be
much
tough.
talent down in
Yeah.
Georgia.
That's going to be tough to do, having the unbiased approach.
It is tough.
After being a sports fan for so long.
Such a diehard Patriots and Georgia Bulldogs fan.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Seahawks fan now.
Well,
But
yeah,
college,
now that you
college,
got
it doesn't
Bill
really
there.
matter.
Yeah.
I follow Georgia. I like Georgia. Justin Houston, he was a good Georgia.
Justin Houston was a damn good Georgia
If the
player.
Patriots could get AJ Green, I'd be psyched.
I got an AJ Green jersey.
I
like
love
the
AJ.
second he came, maybe his second or third year into the league, I got my AJ Green jersey.
Such an
Was so
underrated
stoked.
guy.
Oh,
Love AJ
That would
Green.
be-
He'd be a good
Awesome.
fit.
It'd be an awesome fit.
Yeah.
I hear the Bengals don't want to trade him now.
Yeah.
yeah.
They have to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I heard they're working
Well,
extension.
It seems like the Pats, if they're
Then
going to
again,
do anything.
I don't have any.
I wish I had some insight on it, but I don't know I'm not well versed in Bengals front office.
That's fair.
I've never had a guy in the Bengals.
I don't think many people are well versed in the
No.
Bengals front office.
I don't think the Bengals front office is well versed with the Bengals front office.
I don't know if the Bengals front office has a front office.
No, I don't think so.
They got like 4 people whose names I've heard.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You know what's crazy? If they had hit on that kid, what is it, Justin Ross? What is it? The wideout.
John Ross.
John
Ross.
Ross.
If he had hit, AJ Green could have been a little bit more expendable, but he was terrible.
Yep, because it could have been John Ross and Tyler Boyd on cheap rookie deals.
Yep.
Instead, we don't get AJ Green.
No one thought that Ross should be going that high.
No.
What was he, top 12, 13 pick?
John Ross went. I think teams started to get early because I think there was like Mike Williams and Josh Doxson, maybe.
Doxson.
I think those guys went back to back.
I thought Doxson was going to be a good
I
player.
thought Doxson can't stay healthy.
No, I can't.
He'd be great in the red zone if Gruden, well, if the Redskins were just
Yeah,
good
he
in
can
the
go
red
up
zone.
and get it.
Yeah.
The vertical. The vertical. Talk about things that translate speed and vertical. My
Yeah.
God. Jalen Williams, he was a 40-inch vertical, and I knew, okay, we're good. Someone's going to sign him just
There you
off of
go.
that.
I mean, you could get that old Al Davis. Just can he run, jump, and catch?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll take a stab at
Yeah.
him.
I remember showing up at UMass's pro day, and he was just getting ready to do the vertical, and I saw the numbers, and okay, I'm gonna drive home happy today.
There you
It's
go.
a long drive from Amherst. Amherst is tough to get to from here. There's no
From
way to get
here,
there.
Oh, yeah,
you got to
there's
go
no easy
down and then through Fitchburg, and then you got to just. There's no fun way.
You know what's the craziest? Driving. I drove all the way to Tampa and back without stopping anywhere to sign a guy. New Hampshire, Tampa, turned around, signed him, said, "Hey man, that's awesome, thank you." Hopped in my car and drove back home.
Wow.
Yeah. So you'll have like 2 or 3 weeks a year where you're doing that kind of stuff. But other than that, I don't travel. But you go to some weird places when you're going to sign guys.
I wouldn't want to travel either if I had to do that.
It's tough.
So
Did you guys know that there exists a Jacksonville, Alabama? Because I didn't until I went there a few years ago to sign a guy. Yeah.
Was that because you went to the wrong Jacksonville, or
I think I may have gone to the wrong Jacksonville. Fortunately, they had a football team there, so I signed a guy. It was Jacksonville State. There was a kid.
Oh, okay.
He was a UCF grad, so he was a pretty prominent guy coming out of high school. Went to Jacksonville State, lit up Clemson on a Thursday night game, and that kind of put him on the map. But then he ran a 4.63 off everyone's board.
Yeah.
It's crazy. If you're a wideout and you're above 4.6, you're done.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of wideouts, we're going to go to commercial real quick.
Yeah.
But maybe get some thoughts on if the Patriots were to make a trade for somebody that might be available, someone you might look
Yeah,
at.
it's a certain Georgia Bulldog, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
after this commercial, we'll get your take on maybe that and a couple other NFL things before we wrap up.
Awesome.
Julie means more to me than anything. And I wanted to ask you, before I ask her, may I have your permission to marry her?
Is this some sort of a joke? A mall store ring? Don't disrespect my mother like that. Take that thing back and go to Bellman Jewelers.
Shopping for a diamond at the mall? Don't bother. Even a 9-year-old knows the difference. Shop at Bellman Jewelers, 1650 Elm Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Because at Bellman's, it's always a matter of trust.
No, Kurt Warner, I love him as a quarterback. He did it for 2 different franchises and went to the Super Bowl for 2 different franchises. Won one with the Rams, obviously, but he didn't have that same it that some other quarterbacks of his era had.
No, certainly not. I think
Despite being in the greatest show on turf.
doing it twice is what really cemented it for him.
That Cardinals career, if you want to even divvy it up into
Man,
2,
I really wish he got that ring.
was dynamic.
That Cardinals Super Bowl was crazy.
That was actually one of my favorite
That was a
Super
good one.
Bowls. In
That one hurt.
taking out all of the
That one
Patriots
hurt.
involvement, that might be my favorite Super Bowl. I think
What happened with the Pats?
I
that
don't
year?
know. Saints
Who'd
Colts
they
was
lose to?
real good.
that year,
Yeah,
probably the Steelers.
probably right. No, they lost to the Ravens in the first round, didn't they?
Uh,
First
no,
play of the
they
game,
lost-
Ray Rice, 80 yards.
They lost
Yeah.
to the Jets, I think.
You're right.
that was the Sanchez.
Oh.
The
First
Sanchez.
quarter, they go for it on 4th and 2 with Chung.
Oh,
Remember that? They lined
Why?
up Chung in the backfield.
Why do I want to remember that?
Yeah, you're right. Why don't let me hit on every bad moment in Patriots history. Let's talk about that 80, what was it, 87, 80...
You want to go
when they played
86
the
Bears?
80, yeah,
86
sure.
Bears team,
Yes,
yeah.
why
You
not?
want to talk about the fridge running over
Sure.
some linebacker we had?
We could talk about the
Could've
dude
been
from
a-
the Jets who popped Bledsoe. That was a good moment.
I mean, that was actually a good moment.
Yeah.
did actually help.
Was it Hugh? What was the guy's name? I was
Washington? I thought it wasn't
Was
Washington.
it Daryl Washington?
He buried him.
He did. He laid him out good.
I was a big Bledsoe guy.
Yeah, I like Bledsoe
When
too.
I knew nothing about football when I was like 7 years old, I loved Bledsoe.
You know who reminds me of Bledsoe a little bit in this draft? Is Drew Lock.
Yeah, for sure.
Drew Lock is the kid from Missouri. Big arm, really relies on
That's
the big
someone
arm.
you want the Pats to go after, isn't it?
He's not going to fall to 32.
No,
but
he'll be top 15.
yeah. He's probably
Oh,
the
no,
third
you were talking
pick.
about Greer, weren't you?
I was talking about
No.
Greer. I've kind of changed my pick to Ripien out of Boise State. I was saying that off air.
Yeah.
I like the kid from Boise. He just seems he's a bit more Patriot-like in the way he kind of goes through his reads. He has a bit more intermediate, bit quick hitter.
It's pretty crazy. The kid in the AAF who was by far the best player in the league is that quarterback the Patriots took a few years ago from Tennessee. Is
Garrett Gilbert?
it Gilbert? I think he
Yeah.
was, he was lighting it up.
He was crushing it for the Apollos.
Yep.
I think.
Orlando
I
Apollos.
think it was Orlando Apollos.
Yep. We'll all forget about them in about a month.
Oh, yeah.
Probably less.
Who?
Yeah, who? The AAF, what's that?
No, but Garrett Gilbert was pretty good. You know who kind of showed something for a little bit? It was Zach Mettenberger.
Zach Mettenberger.
Mettenberger was
Oh,
kid
in
out.
Tennessee, yeah. He had like a couple of good games, and then he just total fizzled out.
So he went to LSU. He played with some good players at LSU,
Yep.
namely Odell and Landry. And
Yeah, that helps.
He transferred to LSU
Love.
from somewhere, I think.
Arkansas?
Arkansas? Is that what it
I
was?
think it was
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yep.
How do you know this shit?
Yeah,
That's
it was
what I
Arkansas.
want to know.
I love these things.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But I was a big
Jeez.
Mettenberger fan,
He played
actually.
with Landry.
He played with Landry
LaFell.
and Odell, and it was LaFell,
That's
wasn't it?
wild. Actually, LaFell may have been before then.
Laf-
But maybe not. Maybe not.
LaFell's not that old.
He has a surprisingly solid NFL career.
Yeah.
Really solid.
I liked LaFell.
Yeah.
He had that one great year for us,
He did.
which was just money. But
Was that the year we had Revis?
Yeah, those year.
And by we, I mean the Patriots. Not me at all. I have nothing to do with the Patriots. I have no allegiance.
That was back when you were a
You're
fan
right.
because you could have.
That's
been.
true. That was
Since
2014.
You
Yeah.
have no allegiance.
That was the year
so-
before.
That's true.
Yep.
So
I
it's okay. Old habits.
I don't even care about the Pats now
Yeah.
at all. Or
Every-
Georgia football.
Nope, definitely not.
Not at all.
Nah, screw them.
Not an AJ Green fan either.
Nah. Nope. I don't like AJ Green at
But
all.
speaking of the Pats, we did mention this in part one, talking about maybe since the Patriots receiving core is a flaming bag of dog shit right now.
After Edelman.
Aside from Edelman,
And kind of Dorsett.
Dorsett's a fourth receiver.
I'm
Okay,
sticking
whatever.
with my
So our
Edelman's
second-
a legit guy. Dorsett's still
So
kind of
our
legit.
second and third receiver situation, which
Sure.
is non-existent,
Yeah.
through some of your scouting in this upcoming draft, or players in the league that you think could
Sure.
be potentially on the market based on their current situation. Who are maybe a couple of potential options you think would be a good fit for the Patriots?
I mean, AJ Green would be nice, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
that would be really
Not
nice.
a fan of him or anything.
Nah,
but like,
not
No,
at
no,
all.
no, of course not.
No.
No.
I think the first place to start is look for a veteran who is in the final year of a team-friendly deal. Whether that, I think Fitzgerald's too old to fit the bill on that. I don't know how many years are left on his deal, but start with a guy in the
just
final year of his
resigned,
deal.
So yeah.
That's
Did
a
he?
good place to start. Who would be in the last year of their deal? Who's a solid?
Well, I knew there were
On a
rumblings.
bad team.
I don't know if it's his last year, but I heard rumblings of potentially looking at Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Shepard for a team
He's
that's
a little
kind
bit
of
of
blowing
a-
it up.
Yeah.
He's a bit redundant, I think. I think you need someone who can stretch the field a little bit more. But he's a good player.
I mean, this also doesn't really fit that bill either, but Mohamed Sanu, if they're trying to allocate more money for Julio Jones this year, Mohamed Sanu,
That would make sense.
a
Could be.
Rutgers
Yeah, 'cause
guy,
now
we've
they have
seen
Calvin
Bill's
Ridley.
Yep.
affinity for Rutgers players. Mohamed Sanu kind of fits that.
That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Plays the slot,
He'd be
plays
solid.
the outside possession guy. He's not a big stretch the field
No.
guy, but
He's a reliable receiver.
he'd be more like LaFell or Brandon
Yep.
Lloyd.
He talks
in
a
that
lot
mold.
of trash.
Does
He's
he?
Oh
Really?
yeah, he's a professional trash talker
Interesting.
for sure.
Oh,
I
that's
wouldn't
awesome.
expect
Yeah.
that. That's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, he talks a lot. He talks a lot on behalf of Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you listen to those mic'd up, actually if you listen to the mic'd up Falcons Patriots game, he's talking so much.
Oh, that's,
Really?
that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I
He's a
do
good
kind of
player.
like that.
Yeah, I like dudes like that. A guy that I like who obviously signed a new deal, so he wouldn't make any sense, but a guy like Allen Robinson, who may be coming off an injury, who may be kind of, he wasn't flourishing in Jacksonville.
Right.
Yeah, solid receiver. Didn't put up like crazy number. Well, he did do really well in Jacksonville,
Yep.
but
Well,
yeah.
he signed with the
Signed with the
Bears.
He had a
yeah.
good year too. So a guy maybe in his back half of the second contract, last year of the deal. Think someone like
So I have another name, but I feel like I'm picking on a former team. So the Bengals just had a really good receiving core at one point.
Sure.
When it was AJ Green, Mohamed Sanu, and Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones. Love
Oh.
Marvin.
Marvin Jones
Marvin
still
Jones.
he's still in Detroit. He
I
was
bet
injured
Detroit would
last
like to
year.
unload him.
And if they want to just go with Galladay as their one and
Yep.
only, it seems.
Patriots know a few people over there too.
Yeah,
It's
they
true.
got some connections
Yep.
out in Patriots Central. but
Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders would be great. He's coming off of a big injury.
He is.
That's
Was it Achilles?
Yeah.
he might be ACL.
So maybe you can get him
But
on a cheap trade.
One of the two.
Yep. He'd look good in a Pats uniform. They
would.
tried a few
Yeah.
years ago.
I was gonna say, Bill
That's
like
true.
he
Oh
was willing
my
to give up
God,
a third
I
for him.
wish.
Yep.
I mean,
Oh.
he was a restricted free
I think
agent.
it might have been a second. I think they put a second round tender on him.
I think
and the
they did.
Pats tried to,
Then
and then Pittsburgh had to match it.
even more so. I mean, they matched the contract when he was restricted.
They
free
matched it
agent.
and then traded him to Denver, right?
At least a year later.
Pittsburgh knows what they're doing with wideouts. My God.
They are factory.
They had Mike Wallace. They had the only one they missed
Yeah.
on was Limas Swede. Remember that guy?
Oh yes,
From
I
Texas.
do
Yeah, he was a
remember Limas
bum.
Swedes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Limas
but all of
Swedes
them.
was supposed to be.
Jeez. I mean, they had Bryant, they had
Martavis
they had
Bryant.
Schuster, Brown, Mike
Wallace,
Wallace,
Antonio
Mike
Hall.
Emmanuel
Wallace was the best of the
Sanders.
bunch at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
time.
Like, holy crap.
Mike Wallace was the untouchable. We're not getting rid of this guy.
Yep.
Think about that.
Yep.
And Antonio Brown and Emmanuel Sanders were the tertiary receivers.
They were. Man.
That's crazy.
Antonio Brown is
He's a freak.
phenomenal.
He's so good.
Phenomenal.
He's going to be in the Hall before Torrey Holt, apparently.
He did it right, man.
He
Say what
did.
you want, he handled that.
So we talked about this too.
Oh, God.
It's for two guys in a similar situation on the Steelers, Le'Veon Bell and him, Le'Veon threatened to sit out the year. He sat out the year, and then he signed his contract when
Yep.
Antonio Brown bitched and moaned the whole damn time.
Mm-hmm.
And who got paid?
Yep.
Antonio Brown
The
got
wide
paid.
receiver, not the running back.
Well, yeah.
diva
I
wide
think a lot
receiver
of
over
it,
the
too,
diva
had to
running
do with
back.
the position. That's why.
I know that, but still, like, relative to what they were both asking, Antonio Brown got or exceeded what he wanted. Le'Veon came up short. Le'Veon came up short from what the Steelers offered him originally, or one of the last contracts that were leaked.
I would have been.
But he did it right. You're right.
I would have had my head in my palms every day, just face palming throughout the entire Antonio Brown process, and then he just nailed it.
Yeah.
If I were his agent,
Yep.
I'd say, "Wow, good for you, man. You do your job better than I do." Be like, he handled that the right way.
jeez.
He did. He got out of Pittsburgh.
He did. I hated the way he did it, but
And
he got out of it.
And he kind of landed in an interesting spot
He did.
in Oakland.
Yeah, that
where-
is so bizarre.
Now, I don't know what they're doing, but
I'm so confused
in
what they're
theory-
trying
Who
to
knows
do.
what they're doing?
in theory, if Derek Carr is the guy, which based off of recent reports you don't think
No reason
that,
to believe so.
but if Derek Carr is their guy, he has some upside as a
Yeah, he does.
quarterback
And
there.
he's young.
I actually like Derek Carr. He's kind of like if Jay Cutler was motivated.
Yep.
Like that's always been my Derek Carr analysis.
Sure.
If Jay Cutler just tried,
If he wasn't smoking heaters.
Yeah,
after the
right.
game.
Yeah, seriously, my God.
Yeah.
smoking Jay,
Yep.
but like that, he does have some serious talent. If it ever were to kind of all come together and click,
Yeah.
that could be a really dangerous offense.
Yeah, I mean, I remember people asking me what they thought Antonio was going to do, and I just believe that the thought on my end was they're just going to blow the whole thing up and start new when they move to Vegas.
Yeah.
And then you go and you sign
That's what I
Antonio.
thought, too.
It didn't make a whole lot of sense, but in hindsight, it could make some
Well,
sense.
one of the things that was an interesting point that I hadn't really considered, I can't remember, I think I heard it on one of the radio stations. They were saying that because it's moving to a new market, it's extremely important. They're doing this more as like a PR type
Absolutely.
thing than football
Yep.
related.
Superstars in Vegas.
Yeah, superstars. Basically to get a following right away.
Yep.
That way, if you're going through that rebuild process, you still have,
If only they had Khalil Mack.
you know, that's what I've been saying.
If only they had drafted a guy like Khalil Mack.
Could you
Yeah,
imagine
right.
if they just had a good pass rusher?
Oh,
Yeah.
Thanks, John Gruden.
The
I
irony.
freaking
Right?
love that.
Yes.
The
That
irony,
was the
John Gruden in the
best.
press conference, it's hard to find good pass rushers
Like,
after you
oh,
traded away
really?
the best one in the NFL.
Oh my God, that was
wild.
Gold, media gold right there. Holy shit.
I didn't think Khalil Mack was that dominant, but then you see him in Chicago and he just took over games.
So
Oh
I
my
knew he
God,
was
that's
good.
just first game against the Packers on primetime. You just saw him and you were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That is the definition of a one-man wrecking crew.
It
Oh
was.
my God, him alone, like he alone almost won that game for the Bears. Just on
The
defense.
Bears should have won that game.
They should have won. Like,
Rodgers just had some magic. Second
but
half
like
magic.
him alone was, even though they lost, he was the most important player on the field. Like holy shit.
Like biggest winner of that game was not a team. It was just Khalil
It
Mack.
was
It was
Khalil Mack.
unreal.
Just
Yeah.
Oh my
justifying the money.
Speaking of Vegas, I think there are very few guys in the NFL that can actually single-handedly move a line, and Gronk I think was probably worth like 2.5 points maybe.
Yep.
Khalil Mack might be. I mean, because he can change a game in an instant.
Yeah.
Easy.
Very few
Of
guys.
non-quarterbacks.
Non-quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. He's oh my
Absolutely
God,
agree.
Absolute monster.
But another interesting point was, you don't have to worry about the Raiders being on Hard Knocks this year because next year the Raiders are going to be on Hard
better
Knocks.
Oh,
believe they're
definitely.
gonna
First year in Vegas?
Holy crap.
That'll
That's
be
going to
fun.
be a
God, I want that.
circus.
That'll be
I'm just
fun.
mad that they can't have the Browns this year because they can't
Oh,
do 2 years in a
that's
row.
true. Who do they have this year?
Don't know
They
yet.
haven't picked it.
Right.
Because they're going to allow teams to volunteer, and then when no teams volunteer, they have to say, so no teams who've done it the previous year, no teams who've been in the playoffs, no teams this, that, and the rest of it.
Patriots
They-
will have to
they've-
do it at some point.
Oh
Yep.
boy,
You
that'll
can't,
be interesting.
You can't say no if you're forced to do it.
They did it once, didn't they?
Did they?
They did it
Did they?
once. I think they did it once when Rex Ryan was out of the league, so they needed to nab someone.
Yeah.
It was between his Jets and Bills tenure.
Oh,
I think they did do one.
I'd be interested to know what the ramifications are for a franchise saying no, because I would imagine they can't.
It's into the CBA now, I think, so they can't.
Good old CBA.
Oh, it's been wonders for everyone.
Yeah,
seriously.
it's wild.
Have the Rams done it?
Yep.
They would be a good
Probably.
one.
I
feel
know the
like-
Browns have done it because my guy was on the team. And I
Browns
remember
have done it
thinking,
like 3
He's
times.
thinking,
I
oh,
remember thinking,
don't
like,
do
wonder if
something.
we can capitalize on this. And then
Yeah.
also, yeah, he might do something stupid. Or he's going to be the guy that you see going into the office and, hey, man, we're letting you go, and you You watch them walk down the hallway. That's always sad.
Oh, that's the
Crazy.
depressing part.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's gonna be so rough. Oh.
And you walk out of the
Talk
building
about a kick in the
wondering
balls.
if anyone's ever gonna sign you. If it's
Yeah.
over, now what do I do? What's my
One
what's
of the
my
s-
next profession? Because I'm 21 years old.
One of the
And a
saddest
camera
things
is
was
capturing all of your emotions
Yeah,
as you're walking
it's crazy.
away.
one of the saddest things was watching Corey Coleman cry to Hugh Jackson
Yep.
and the Browns saying, "If you don't want me to play, cut me," or he had like some line like that. And I was like, "Damn, man."
Yeah, it's
I mean,
wild, man. That's
like
their
bawling
lives
his eyes
just
out,
changing
yeah.
in an instant.
Yeah. And it's for our viewing pleasure.
Yeah, it is.
Hey.
That's all that matters, right?
That's like the sad thing, but it's
True. I mean,
also
look
like
at the Kardashians. They're
good
on TV.
Yeah,
I remember getting, like,
Unfortunately.
I got a call from one of my guys when he got cut and just bawling, and you don't know what to say. Like, man, I'm going to do everything I can to get you back on the field, but I knew that it wasn't going to work because it was an injury that was pretty significant. Now you almost want to help them, like, find their next career,
Right.
but you don't know enough about the kid to know what he
Can
excels
do,
outside
yeah.
of football.
Right.
But it's sad. It's hard. And they're so young.
Right. Yeah, you're talking about kids. I mean, jeez.
And the
I feel like a
only
kid
thing
now,
they've-
and I'm 25, 26.
Only
These
thing
kids
they've
are
ever
like
done is play
20.
football.
Yeah.
2021.
Like that's what they've been training their entire lives for. It's what their parents were preparing for. It's what everyone was preparing for.
Good thing that education in college really got them ready.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
Oh, gosh.
Amateurism. It's for another day.
Gotta love
Oh,
it.
God, yeah, that could be multiple episodes, but geez.
You don't want to talk about TV contracts in college and how
Oh,
much
God.
the Big
Oh,
Ten makes
jeez.
perennially and
How much is that Big Ten? That Longhorn Network? They make a fortune.
oh my God, it's like $100 million.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is insane. They have money like coming out of their freaking asses.
Texas
boosters.
football, who hasn't even really been like
Holy
that
crap.
good since Vince Young left.
Oh, don't
Well,
tell
Colt
Bullier
McCoy
that.
left.
Don't tell
Colt
Bullier
McCoy.
that. Jeez.
Colt McCoy. I actually like Colt McCoy.
Oklahoma State. They got what's that dude's name? The booster is. Oh man, he's some oil tycoon. He's worth a fortune,
At
and
Oklahoma
he just
State?
pumps money into that program. It's T. Boone Pickens.
Oh God,
That
was-
definitely sounds like an oil tycoon.
Yes, it sure does. Such
Straight
such
out
a
of like
perfect name.
Cheyenne or
Yeah,
something.
and Oregon.
Or Amarillo, you know.
That's where I would have wanted to go
Oh,
if I was
yeah.
a football player.
Oh,
Like I'm gonna get all those
absolutely.
Nike, all that Nike gear.
Where?
Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah. Oh,
Chip Kelly was there.
yeah.
That Chip Kelly. You know what? You know who really put Oregon on the map for me was Dennis Dixon.
Dennis Dixon.
Dennis Dixon, the quarterback there. I think went to Pittsburgh.
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
floundered
yeah.
a little bit.
Yep.
But he put Oregon like on the map. I was like, Ducks football is
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the kid's name who was the quarterback, white kid? He was always in trouble. He ended up being like a CFL guy, but he was supposed to be a really good NFL player. He came in after Dixon, I think.
Jeremiah Masoli?
There it is. Was he after?
How the hell
was
do
he
you
after
know this
Mariota?
shit?
He was before Mariota.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Jeremiah.
He was the
Masoli.
quarterback in between. He actually beat out, or he was the quarterback for whichever team Johnny Manziel was at
Hey, no.
in
Oh,
the
before
CFL.
okay.
Oh.
Before he got
He
traded
was
out.
at the Alouettes.
He was Jeremiah Masoli was the quarterback Manziel couldn't beat out.
There it is.
And it's like, it's pretty damning on Manziel's pro
Pretty
prospects,
bad.
huh?
It's pretty bad. And he was almost going to be a first-round pick to the Cowboys.
I would have loved every minute of that. I hate the freaking Cowboys.
But you got to say, Jerry
How about them
Jones.
Cowboys?
Jerry Jones' kid, Steven
Steven,
Jones.
At least he has half a brain.
He's bright.
He
Jeez.
saved them there.
He saved the Cowboys right there.
He's taken a few of my favorite guys the last few years.
Yeah.
We were talking about Byron Jones off the air. What
Yeah,
a
we
stud.
were.
What a
Oh my
stud.
God, Byron Jones setting like the standing long jump record, world record,
Yeah,
if it's
blew
official.
away Jamie Collins.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even just combine record, like actual proper
Yeah, it was
world
Olympic.
record,
Yeah,
Olympic record.
the standing.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
Do you
The
not
stand-
care at all, or are you just
Oh yeah, I forgot.
very
Combine
Combine
hater.
guy.
anti
I
combine?
am. The only thing I like
it's impressive that it's a world record, dude.
Okay, that is impressive.
And there's some things you can look at.
I like the
It's
dash.
for-
I like the 3-cone. Other than that,
there you go.
eh.
I was gonna say, for example, if you want to know what the Patriots might do, look at that 3-cone.
Those are the only two that I give a rat's ass about.
I think
at
Bill
that 3-cone.
Belichick said the most impressive 3-cone drill he's ever seen was Deion Branch, and that's
Deion
why
Branch.
that's why he either drafted or brought him in because he was like,
It's
love that
interesting 'cause
guy.
that's like the only wide receiver he's hit on other than Edelman, pretty much.
They haven't hit on wideouts.
Yeah,
Chad Jackson.
Chad
Yeah, it's
Jackson
basically
is
Branch and Edelman are the
Aaron
only two they ever
Dobson,
hit.
Aaron
Josh
Dobson.
Boyce. Yeah,
Ugh.
I had hopes for Dobson.
Me too. I have actually been on record saying how much I loved Dobson as a player.
Yeah.
He could do everything.
You know why he
except
fizzled out, right?
Catch the damn football.
He was addicted to video games.
Was he really?
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
He wouldn't show up. He'd show up to practices late. He was playing video games all night. Like, bro.
Wow. David
Grow up,
Price 2.0.
Yep.
Well, he was the OG David Price.
Yeah, he's the OG
Playing
David Price
Fortnite.
before Fortnite. I don't know what he was playing,
I
but
was just gonna say.
Wow.
He's probably like COD or something.
Call
Had
of
to be
Duty.
Call
Yeah.
of Duty.
Yeah.
Patting his Madden stats.
It's pretty
is what it
sad.
was.
It's pretty
Just
sad. man.
Madden stats.
Be a pro career in Madden. He was
Yeah.
trying to boost his numbers.
Why take care of my career on the field? I can do it virtually
Hey,
in Madden.
Esports gamer. You know.
He had all of the physical skills
He did.
though. He ran like a 4.40. He was 6'1", 6'2", 220.
Yeah.
Could fly. Ran routes amazingly. He was
Yeah.
always open.
I remember Gil Brandt, who was
He just
a long
dropped
time
everything.
kind of NFL draft. He was
He was like
everything in
Greg
the NFL.
Cozell.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He compared him to Larry Fitzgerald when he was coming out.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, that didn't work.
I guess not. Jeez.
He did always find a way to get open. Like he ran his
did.
routes perfectly.
Yeah, he just
Only he could
couldn't
catch it.
Yeah. Brick
Yep.
hands.
Yep.
You know who had better hands than him? The undrafted kid, Ken Brell Tompkins.
I liked him, actually.
That was fun.
Even though he caught it like that.
That
The one
game
catch
winner
over the
against,
Saints?
Oh, the
That was
Saints,
a
yeah.
fun game.
That was cool.
The look on Rob
Unicorns.
Ryan's face was
That was beautiful.
Just that.
The only
Here's a
thing
fun-
better would have been if it was Rex.
Fun fact: did you know Rob Ryan was on the Patriots staff for the first Super Bowl that they won?
Really?
No way.
Yep. Yep.
Really?
What was his position?
Assistant linebackers or something?
Who knows?
It had to be something defensive.
Interesting.
It's
Wow.
shocking, right?
Damn.
And you hear it like you think the Ryan family must hate Belichick and all that. Yeah, Rob Ryan was on Belichick's staff.
I
Damn.
love that. You think it?
Was he a holdover?
I hope we don't fact check that and I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was.
No, I think you're
It'd be
right.
awesome. Every Thanksgiving, you just wear the Pats ring and just flip off your brother from
Yeah.
the end of the table.
Oh, you just lost to Bill again?
Ah.
Check out this ring. I
The
got
best
this.
is the Patriots ring too. You know?
Yep.
Why do you think it lasted so long before Rex actually hired him? To be
Yeah,
on his
right.
staff
Yeah,
was because
exactly.
Good point.
Rob was just like ring,
Yep.
ring.
It's surprising to me that Rex is still out of the league because he's bright. He can
He
drop
could definitely
defense,
be a
man.
defensive coordinator.
He would be
like imagine him with the Chargers.
an
Get rid of
animal.
Gus Bradley and you put him in there.
Put him on any squad. He
Yeah.
upgrades like 90% of defenses right now.
There's only a few defensive coordinators that I would take in front of him. I don't even think I can think of anyone off the
I mean, I
top
was
of my
gonna
head.
say.
I mean, maybe Wade Phillips, maybe.
Yeah,
Wade
Wade knows how to
Phillips is
draw
a
it
good one.
He's got some talent on that team, though.
Yeah, that
But he's
helps.
always been good. He was good in Denver. They had talent there, too.
Vic Fangio. I know he's a head coach
Fangio.
now, but he's kind of in that
Yeah.
same kind of.
He's a great coach.
He did a great job with that Bears, and even
dude-
before that in San Fran.
The dude from Kansas City gave Belichick fits for the longest time. The guy who got fired after they
Oh
lost.
yeah,
Bob Sutton.
Yeah,
Bob Sutton. Yeah.
I remember some stat about Brady a few years ago against Bob Sutton defenses. It was really bad numbers.
Really buck that trend.
He sure did.
Who was
Get some
Sutton behind
canned.
that?
Yeah.
Who was Sutton before the Chiefs?
Who was the defensive coordinator, or who was
No.
Sutton
Where was
on?
Sutton before?
I don't know. I think he was there for a while.
No, I don't think he was a holdover. I don't think he was there like
He joined
before
with
Andy
Reid?
Reid. Yeah, I think Andy Reid brought him in.
I don't know where Sutton was before Kansas City,
Yeah.
but
I
they're
wanted to say Chargers for whatever reason, but
I was going to
know.
say the Colts for some reason. I don't know why.
that makes sense.
If I'm hiring a head coach, I'm hiring a special teams coordinator. That's always
And have
that's
him
where
run
I
it.
go. Those are the guys who know everything.
John Harbaugh effect.
Harbaugh,
Yep.
for sure.
I mean, just someone who doesn't have their hand in every cookie jar, or
Exactly.
has their hand in every little aspect,
Yep.
but doesn't run anything.
You need to be able to manage
Absolutely
the
agree.
roster,
Absolutely
manage
agree.
the team.
Have a good system in place and have your offense and everything work with it, or defense work with it.
It's crazy when you see some guys like McVay's a bad example because he's a great coach, but you see guys who are so good at one thing,
Bill
you don't
O'Brien.
even see them talking to the defensive players if they're like an offensive guru. It's crazy. That's not how Belichick rolls.
Right. Yeah, it's so out of touch.
Pete Carroll talks to the whole team.
Pete Carroll, Mike Tomlin. I know
Yep.
you're not a big Tomlin guy, but that's actually eventually what kind of got Mike McCarthy out in Green Bay. He didn't focus any attention on his defense. He let Dom Capers do whatever, and his offense kind of faded.
Yep.
It's like if you're an offensive guy, you got to do a good job on offense.
It
Yeah,
seems
you
like
do.
Andy Reid's the same way. He's just buried in his play sheet. Like
Andy
he doesn't
Reid.
even know what's going. Like especially if you look at the overtime in the Chiefs AFC game, like he looked so clueless.
I know.
Didn't call a
He just had the
timeout.
playbook in front
All
of
of
him.
his guys
Yep.
were freaking winded.
Yeah.
Like he was like almost paying no attention.
Andy Reid
It's like you
and time
realize that
management.
if
That's
they
why we got that
score,
rule change.
Yeah.
Or
Oh
no, we
my
got the
God.
proposal. Were they the only team that proposed
Overtime.
Of course they were.